no. So on my end, it doesn't. It looks like
we are recording live, by the way.
It's a little cut off.
Cut off? No, you're. The lower third. If we go back, no, that's the aspect ratio of the TV. Did we change the aspect ratio? Okay. It's just the TV that the webcam is showing. So
okay.
Other than that, it'll look good on the actual recording. And hi, everyone. Welcome to eLearnChat. We are in our pre-show right now. We've got with us, he's on camera right now. Let's see. We've got Brent Schlenker. Everybody knows Brent. Everybody loves Brent. So he's here to be loved and to share the love back. And we've got with us the Linda Joy. And as I always say, Linda, pretty, and Joy. Oh, she's such a joy to work with. So anyway, she's here joining us today. And we're getting ready to interview Brent and talk about some of the stuff he's been doing. You're a busy camper, Brent. You've got like 16 jobs you do right now, or?
I was funny. I was just talking to a friend of mine yesterday about it, and she's been wanting to kind of dial down work, and we were laughing at each other about how do either of us dial down work, right?
It's
like,
by the way,
we're not living if we're not pushing 20 projects at once, right?
I know. And the minute you talk about dialing it down, that's when more projects hit.
Right, exactly.
It's how it works. And Brent was telling us a little bit off camera that he's also got, one teenager, becoming a teenager, or just turned teenager.
3 teenagers.
And then you got 2 of them, right?
Yeah. So my oldest just started her second year of college.
Wow.
Yeah, my son is 17, and my youngest daughter will almost be 14 or 15.
Wow.
15.
There's a lot of hormones in that household.
There is currently, yes.
That's pretty cool. I do remember we were talking something like 7 or 8 years ago, and you were telling me you had a 10-year-old at the time. You were talking about your 10-year-old, the boy. And, man, time flies.
I know,
and
right?
I remember that conversation, and we were, I think it was like the very first eLearn or something like that, or maybe after that, or before that actually, and we missed each other at one of the hotels. We couldn't coordinate, and I was thinking, the kids, lots of kids.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, they're one of the projects that keep me busy, keep me on my toes.
That's right. That's 3 times, 2 projects each minimum?
Yeah. And the older they get, it's not like it doesn't get any easier the older they get. As people say, the challenges just change. That's all.
Yeah, that's true.
They become more complex.
More complex,
right?
Yeah. Linda has 3 boys, so she knows too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. And they come home with projects. It's amazing. It's wonderful, actually, really.
All boys, though. Wow. That's, that definitely keeps you on your toes.
Well, you have 2 girls and a boy, right?
2 girls and a boy, yep.
So who's in charge?
Not me.
Yeah. Anyway, well, hey, shall we start the show recording and we'll get the show going?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right, so here we go. So let's see, we got this shot going, and let's start the show recording in 3, 2, and 1. Hi, everyone. Welcome to eLearnChat, where talk is knowledge, and we've got lots of knowledge and talking to do today. I am joined right next to me, a mere maybe 1,500 miles away, if even, Linda Joy, coming to us from Colorado. And hi, Linda. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Rick?
I'm doing really well, too. And I'll give you a little plug if you're looking for anybody who does voiceover, especially with a lovely British accent, even German if you want. Linda's right here. You can always find her. We always have her stuff on the show notes, but you can go to lindajoyvoiceover.com.
Thanks, Rick.
Oh, you're welcome. And we've got a great guest today. First, let's do our intro. And we are back. And today we've got with us Brent Schlenker. He is the Chief Learning Officer at Litmos. And that is the CLO position. Brent's been around for a long time. And He's also one of the hosts of a new trade show industry show called the Training Learning Development Conference, which is going to be held in San Diego, Mission Bay Hyatt, October 3rd through 5th. That should be a lot of fun, and it's going to be different. So he'll talk a little bit about that. He's a media guy. He's done TV production. He's done it all, and he's a dad, 3 kids. Oh, it's the man has no time. In fact, I did a trick on you today, Brent.
Uh-oh.
I've been trying to corral you for the show for a while, so I finally sent you an invite and you accepted. I go, that worked.
That's all it takes. Let's try not to make things complicated. But thanks for having me. This is always fun. I love being on your show. What is this, number 4?
4, I think. 4 or 5.
5, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's been a while, and you look good, and you've been really busy. So, and it's all good stuff. What's going on with Litmos?
Yeah, well, actually, it's been growing like crazy. I mean, I always tell people I often find it ironic that I find myself being excited working for a vendor, especially an LMS vendor, because years ago I was one of those guys proclaiming the death of the LMS and how LMSs were so horrible. And in my own defense, at the time back then, they were horrible and they were awful. But once I discovered Litmos when they first came out, when they were first created, just a small little startup out of New Zealand, I realized, all right, now finally things are changing. Things are going to start looking up, looking good. So, needless to say, I've been a big fan since day one, and it's been a pleasure to be asked to join the team about 2.5 years ago and to be a part of it. So, yeah.
Well, what do you see as some of the changes in the LMS world? Because they're obviously having a lot of changes, and I think that the big LMS vendors are probably struggling because they're so overpriced, and a lot of people don't get the return on investment, at least not right away. And you've got a lot of vendors like Litmos, and Litmos has definitely went from a very small vendor, and it just kind of rose fast, and then when you joined them, they were just starting to really grow and take off. And it's innovative because, one, it's simple. And that's one of the beauties of it. It's not hard to use.
Yeah.
And yet you have almost all the power you need for just about anything. So what do you see as some of the changes going on in the industry and where LMSs are going?
Well, I think you nailed the biggest and best one is just the ease of use, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for years it's been, a horrible experience getting into a learning management system. And when the internet sort of did its turn, right, and became more of a two-way street, if you will, a two-way conversation, and that term Web 2.0 came up, and you had all of these different types of software as a service companies popping up, where all you had to do was put in your name, put in your email, and click register, and instantly you had access to a really powerful system. And I thought for years, this is what an LMS should be. This is how easy it should be for anybody to just ramp up a learning management system. And again, and Litmos was the small company that answered the call in the early days, and they've done a fantastic job of making the ease of use. It's not scary and frustrating to go into your LMS anymore. It's not something you're afraid of. Actually, we have a lot of customers and a lot of personal friends of mine that are customers that continue to tell me how much they like it and how wonderful it is. And it's the change is different. Like the biggest change, I guess I would have to say, is software as a service and the cloud. Right? It changed everything. It changed all the software platforms, and it made everything so much easier, and to follow those standards and those internet technology standards, and to build your LMS around that, that is one of the nicest things about Litmos, is that it was built with the cloud, in the cloud from the very start. So it didn't transition from an older technology or anything like that. It was born and raised in the cloud, and has we've learned throughout the years what makes it tick, what makes the cloud work, what doesn't work in the cloud, what are the ways to make it sing as opposed to just turning something on. I mean, it's been fantastic, but now it's just been a challenge to show people. We grew up as looking like kind of that small, medium-sized LMS, and it really was, and still is, to be honest. But we actually do a lot of powerful enterprise strength, functionality and work now. And so, moving into that space is a bit of it's mostly just a marketing challenge, and just trying to explain to the market that, hey, I've been there. I've been that. Ramping up that training department in a big business somewhere, and knew the types of things we needed to get the work done, and Litmos fit the bill just fine. And that was even before we implemented a lot of enterprise strength functionality. So just very, very impressive tool, and the staff and the direction and their willingness to innovate and to move things forward has just impressed the hell out of me, from day one. So
that's great.
It's a fun ride.
Nice.
And the investment is a lot less on a tool like Litmos for the same results as you would for one of the bigger tools.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's pennies, really. I mean, I can remember, a six-figure, seven-figure in the millions, right?
I know people who've implemented some very large solutions, $2 to $5 million, and you know what? They're not happy. And you just kind of shake your head and go, really, that whole investment for nothing. And ultimately, they don't, and I know some of the large vendors can't even get reference accounts. So you just go, yeah, okay, that's great. And when you pay more for your LMS than you do for the software that runs your whole entire enterprise, there's a problem.
There's got to be a problem, right? It shouldn't be so hard, and it's not. And I think the things that used to frustrate people in our industry about learning management systems are gone. And the hard part for me is to still see people, even people that I really respect in our industry, talking about the death of the LMS and how it needs to be something totally different and all this kind of stuff. And there's terms. Sure, we still use the term LMS, but today's LMS is nothing like 15 years ago, the early LMSs and early systems in general. We've come a long way, and we can do some fantastic things that you wouldn't even think of. So
no, and you were one of the first to actually kind of break that myth that if you're in the cloud, you're in danger. That was the initial thought. Everybody go, I can't put my company on the cloud. What happens if something goes down?
Yeah.
But it's not really been an issue anywhere, and it's actually, to me, that's a benefit. I like having things in the cloud because you can get anywhere you are, you can get it.
Yeah, and we've got professionals managing just that specific server, right? You've got more chance of having your servers go down if you're the one that has to manage it, or if you have to have all the hardware in a closet somewhere in your building. The chances of everything going down and not bringing it back up are, I think, much, much higher than if you leave it in the hands of professionals, right? Let the professionals deal with all that back end stuff so that you can focus on just making the best user experience possible.
Well, if you look at Amazon came up with the S3, their whole database platform. They had so much storage, they didn't know what to do with it, so they said, let's rent it out to people.
Yeah.
And people, there are so many vendors out there in different, whether it's e-commerce or anything else, just using Amazon for their databases, and they're not even close to touching anywhere near Amazon limits. And you're right, let the professionals, they have whole data farms where they can just handle all this without having to spend a fortune internally, and it makes so much sense.
Oh yeah, and it's interesting for those people who have never really seen what the physical nature of what the cloud is. When people think of the cloud, right, all the pictures and the images are the sky with the cloud and everything sort of going up to it, and it's this mystical thing. The job I had just prior to going to Litmos was for a data center business that basically they were the cloud. Their hardware, their buildings were the cloud that everybody stored all of their servers and all their stuff in. And it is amazing to see how that stuff actually works, and to just know how secure all that stuff really is, and to see the brain power behind keeping all that stuff running. I mean, there's no reason to worry about having your data in one of those physical locations. They've thought of everything, and like I said, they're the experts. Let them be the experts at dealing with that, and you can go ahead and be the expert at whatever it is that you're trying to create and deliver to your customers. It's a wonderful time to be in software.
It is, and one of the things you've gotten into recently, again, you have show background and event management background, and you are one of the hosts of the new the Training, Learning, and Development Conference, which is going to be in San Diego at the Mission Bay Hyatt, October 3rd through 5th. And it looks like a lot of fun, and you are one of the hosts. You've got a lot of experience hosting these kind of events. What is that going to bring us?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, the idea is, and was in the early days of thinking about it, to create that event that everybody's wanted, right? Everybody has been to at least one event, one large event. Many of us have been to many events, and there's always that one piece missing. And there are those common threads of what would make this better, and what was your favorite part about the event, and things like we loved the hallway conversations, for example, and things like that. And we just, I don't know, there's always been a collection of us that have known as instructional designers, learning and development professionals, however you categorize yourself, it has always seemed very ironic to all of us that our industry, of all industries, put up with the sage on the stage still after all these years, and after all of us fight to not have that be what we deliver in our businesses and as our solutions, we accept it as being okay in an event format. So it's always been a bit ironic, and but nobody's ever really decided how we would make that change or how we would make it differently. So, I've talked about it with a lot of different folks, and finally just had the opportunity come up to say, Brent, do you want to host this thing? And I was absolutely all over it. To have a chance to have a nice sandbox to try something different. It's going to be awesome. We're going to be doing lots of the work that we do as professionals, right? I mean, there's not so much talk, much more doing. If you've got a challenge that you're trying to meet within your organization, bring that challenge to the event. We've got all the professionals there to help come up with solutions and give you an actionable plan to walk away with. Yeah, sure, there will be some talk because those experts do have a lot of great things to say, but at the end of the day, we want you to be able to listen to what they have to say, but then reflect on it, think about how you can apply it to your challenges, and then actually do something as far as crafting what you're going to do with that knowledge when you get back to the workplace, and how is it going to impact you, and then just utilize all of the resources that we have available. It's going to be like one big consulting group all at your disposal, right? Just available to you to actually get your work done. It's not a boondoggle. If you want a boondoggle, maybe one of the other places to go. I probably shouldn't say that, but maybe one of the others would be better for you. But this is, we want you to be productive. This is what we hear from people. Yeah, the events are fun, but by the time I get home, I'm just exhausted. I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. I don't, work just all of a sudden takes over, and then nothing ever new happens and nothing gets done. We want to change that part of it. We want to be impactful to you as a professional, and to be able to go back and move the needle, as they say.
Yeah, I know we've been interviewing some people. So go ahead, Linda.
Yeah, Brent, I just wanted to say you really have created an atmosphere at the conference of almost an unconference within the conference. You've created spaces for those hallway conversations, for smaller groups to meet and talk through things, for smaller workshops maybe to happen. In the atrium, you introduced that in one of your videos, where there really are smaller spaces for people to meet and collectively bring their knowledge, bring to the table what they're good at, and try to figure out how can we bring this together, how can we brainstorm better, and thus then be more productive when we're back home at our workplace.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you recognized that and saw that, because I think, trying to market, for lack of a better term, or to explain to people that this is going to be different has been a bit of a challenge, because people are so dialed into the usual experience. So to hear that from you, and just seeing those videos that we've done, and seeing the website, and getting that out of it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like we've at least come close to hitting the mark of explaining how different this is going to be, and
Yes.
what the benefit can be for folks. It's we're there to hold your hand, but you really do need to show up and be proactive, and you need to engage. I've always said,
you've created an atmosphere of interactivity,
yep,
which is just great.
yeah. Everybody is both teacher and learner today. And the line between the two is very fine, right? And so, not only do we expect our attendees to show up, but we expect the attendees to engage and to be as big a part of the event as the speakers and everyone else is. We kind of have to use the same terminology as every other event, just to make people feel comfortable about, signing up and coming to the event. But, it's going to be very fluid and very flexible. If an attendee has a great case study that I hear about, I'm not going to just hide that in the corner and not talk about it. I'll pull that person up on stage and say, you got 5 minutes. I think everybody needs to hear this story right now.
That is great.
So that's the kind of thing I like, the serendipity of learning, and to be able to have the opportunity to build an event that has that kind of flexibility in it. It's formal, it's structured, right? We know what we're doing. We've done this before, but we're also working in that flexibility to be able to say, yeah, you know what, this particular section right here, let's re-steer the ship a little bit, and be able to make some adjustments, literally right on the fly, and but based on the people that are there, right? So do what we say that we're supposed to do as learning professionals. Take our audience's input, the analysis, whatever you want to call it, learn what it is that they want to know, and then with the environment that we've created, and with the professionals that we've invited as speakers, it's not going to be a problem at all for us to say, okay, we have a small cluster of folks who are very, very adamant about solving problem X. I know this person, and this person that's done it before, and this person is an expert consultant at helping people do it. We're putting all of you in a room for the next hour, and you're going to hash this out.
That's good. Now, you recently came back from England, right?
Yeah, that was fun too. Yeah, I was at London for the Learning Live conference.
Learning Live, that's fun. Is that Colin Steed's conference?
It is, yeah. It's Colin's, yeah, the LPI puts that on too, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, with and Don Taylor and the LPI, yeah. Yep, great show. It's a smaller event, right? So it's smaller than Learning Tech. So Learning Tech is their big event, which is awesome too. I was there earlier in the year. Learning Live is a little bit smaller, a little bit more focused, but equally as fantastic. So yeah, had a great time there. I talked about virtual reality of all things.
That's an interesting one. I still keep. I was talking with I think Trish Yule about virtual reality. I'm still not so sure that virtual reality replaces the crazy reality that we're in right now. It's kind of, how do you get more virtual than what we live? I don't know. It's kind of weird.
But, yeah, I don't think reality's ever going away. That's for sure.
No. And also, did you have a chance to see Leslie Price when you were up there?
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah. So the Learn Appeal folks, they were. Her booth was right next to the Litmos booth,
okay.
and we are a sponsor of theirs, one of the first U.S. Sponsors of the Learn Appeal capsule. And here's a great thing. So I actually have the pleasure of bringing one home, so that at the event I can show it off. This is the Learn Appeal capsule.
Oh, that's small. I thought it was going to be huge.
No,
Nice.
no, and
Wow.
it is basically when she says you can, drop this into an area with no connectivity, and it's got the little Wi-Fi access hotspot on it, and all the content any learners would need, giving people in very, very, very remote communities the ability to to do e-learning and to consume content. And there's just, I was shocked at how many, we're so used to having the internet being a ubiquitous thing and being able to access content on our mobile devices and all of that. But these third world countries that literally have nothing for an organization to be able to go in with something like that and just drop it in the middle of a schoolroom, and when the kids come in, automatically have their devices, connect right up to it, and allow them to consume the content that's there. I think that's fabulous. It's such a great charity, a great thing for us to support, and they're looking for content. So if you are a student out there wanting to practice building some e-learning for a portfolio or something, please contact Learn Appeal and Leslie Price, and she'll tell you some content, some topics maybe, and you can just go out and create that, and you can do good and build yourself a portfolio all at the same time.
That's great. In fact, I think she was saying that they're looking for content of things that give people skill sets, like, for example, carpentry, or being a contractor, or learning how to build things, learning how to do things.
Yeah.
Because that's where they have a real lack of skills, and this would give them a lot more freedom. So this is a good thing.
And the attendees at TLDC will also be able to interact and try it out and get some hands-on experience there, won't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's why she gave it to me. So I'm going to be setting it up, and it's interesting. She had one set up and turned on at Learning Live, and every time I walked by it with my phone, my Wi-Fi would get hijacked by the Wi-Fi signal, and it was good. It was good because I saw how easy it worked and just how simple it was for a device to grab that Wi-Fi connection and to be able to get that content. So yeah, so we'll have it hooked up and show people how it, how easy it is, and what a fabulous little solution it is. There's some testing going on. They haven't gotten all the test results back yet, but we're hoping to have some results that we can report out on at the event, which would be really fun to have Leslie talk about some of the success stories. So we'll see how that goes.
That sounds great. Well, Brent, we know you're busy, so we're going to keep this short for you. We've only been on like a little over a half hour, but we look forward to seeing you at the show. We'll be there. We're actually going to be streaming a lot of the show, or as much as we can, live. So we'll have cameras set up, and we'll have some live shows within the show. So that should be fun.
And actually, I got to tell you, thank you so much, Rick, for supporting the event and for coming out and doing that. I mean, for me, this kind of stuff, this technology, streaming video, is another one of those topics that I truly believe is going to be extremely impactful on our industry and change a lot of the work that we do and how we do it. And so to have you there as part of the event in a location where people can see how all this stuff works, and to be able to watch somebody do it live, to see the value in it, and all of that. I mean, it's just another one of the fantastic things that we can educate people on in our industry and help them learn, and you can share your skill set and your knowledge with the audience, and they can go back and learn maybe how to do this kind of stuff within their own corporate firewalls.
It's not that hard. What we'll have out there with us is like an Asus Republic of Gaming notebook, because you want something fast enough to stream. Mm-hmm. And 2 cameras, couple cables, couple lights, you've got a recording studio.
Isn't it great?
That's it. That's really it. Doesn't take that long to set up. Probably within an hour, we're up and running. And that...
Yeah, and people make it a lot harder than it needs to be, and that's the hands-on reality stuff. I want TLDC to be kind of a slap in the back of the head for a lot of people. That come on, you can do this. It's not it's not as hard as it used to be, and this is where you can come hang out and get your hands on it and do things and edit some video with your mobile device. We're going to have a little hands-on area where you can learn how to do that if you're afraid. Just all sorts of great stuff that, anything that has scared you, TLDC will be a safe environment for you to try it, fail, learn again, do it, and to find out which of these things you can take back as part of your strategy for the coming year.
And you've got
everybody's got to have a strategy for
Yep.
2017. It's the season.
Yep.
You got to start building that.
And you've got some great speakers, people like Trish Yu, Patty Shank, Nick Floro. Who else? There's other ones. We've interviewed several. And Leslie.
Oh,
Joe
yeah,
Gonchi, Joe Gonchi. Joe's everywhere.
Well, she
We
won't
don't
be
mention
there.
Joe.
Leslie won't be able to be there in person.
No, but Brent is the ambassador.
Yeah, I will try to be the ambassador as much as I can. We've got Shannon Tipton. She's going to be there. She's
okay.
going to help be a good ambassador. Tom Spiglanen's going to be there. We've got Julian Stodd, who's going to be there. We have the great iSocial fans, Malia Probst from the VR community in LA. We've got Allison Rossett. We've got all sorts of folks. Brandon Carson
Brandon.
from Home Depot is going to be there. I mean, there's just there's just a lot of my favorite people in the industry that I know have done some fantastic things and that have a lot to share, even outside of their current roles. They just know they're good people and they've got experiences and skills beyond what it may list in their current job title and their current projects. So I'm very, very excited about the lineup and very, very happy, to be honest, to be hanging out with all of them in one spot. It's like a great excuse
It's going to be a lot of
get
fun.
Together.
And San Diego, I love San Diego. So
yeah, you can't go wrong there.
You can't go wrong there. The climate's beautiful, the Mission Bay is gorgeous, and if they're bringing families, you got SeaWorld right next door.
Right next door, and quite honestly, the Hyatt Mission Bay is set up as a beautiful, beautiful conference center. If you watch that walking tour that I did, I highlighted the conference portion of it. But if you've got kids and if you've got family, the pool is super kid friendly with like 3 different slides and activities for them. And then there's boats you can rent, little canoes to go out into the bay area, and just all sorts of fun right there. And then it's just a boat. SeaWorld is just a boat ride away.
Right.
You could drive, but it's more fun to take their little boat caddy across.
Fun. That should be a lot of fun. Well, hey, we're looking forward to being at the show and seeing you guys there, and wishing you guys the best of luck and success with that. And that's not far away. Again, that was at the Hyatt Mission Bay in San Diego, and October 3rd through 5th. It should be beautiful that time of year. While you're freezing your buns off in other parts of the world and cold, San Diego's gorgeous. You're going to be in the 70s.
Yeah,
it's a tough life.
Let me just pitch real fast too that our hotel discount ends this Friday. So if you're kind of not sure yet if you want to go, if you want to get a great discount on your hotel room, book your stay before this Friday. Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday nights, and even come a day early. Come in on Saturday and enjoy yourself a little bit, or stay an extra day, either one. But don't wait too long to book it, or else you'll not get the fantastic rate that we've secured. So book by Friday, and you'll get an awesome rate.
Is that Friday the 16th?
Yes, ma'am. Friday the 16th. Just go to thetldc.com and click on the venue link, and that will take you to the page with the link that'll take you directly to the hotel, which will automatically give you our discounted rate.
Yeah, it was a good rate. It wasn't that expensive.
Yeah, not at all. I believe it's $169 a night, which is fantastic for this particular hotel.
Yeah, that should be a lot of fun. So we're looking forward to seeing everyone there. So be there. Don't miss this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be
Thanks
good.
for having me on, Rick. I appreciate it. This is always so much fun.
Oh, it is, and I know you're busy, so I do appreciate you taking some time out to come join us. And we look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks, about 3 weeks, at the show.
Yep.
and Linda. And then we have another eLearn chat later on today with, I think Risa Blair, and she used to be with FedEx. I know she knows you.
Yeah, I do know Risa. She's awesome.
She is. She'll be fun. And
Fantastic.
so we'll see if we can get her to go to the TLDC. That'll be fun. But anyway, well, thank you for coming on, Brent, and good luck in everything you're doing.
Brent.
Good luck with the kids. And
Yeah,
we'll
fantastic.
see you.
Linda, nice to meet you as well.
Nice to meet you.
And she was the voice of Little Miss Piggy for 14, 15 years in Germany.
I'm her German voice,
You
the
did German
cartoon
voices.
character.
Yep.
Nice. That's awesome. Oh, now I have to track down some YouTube videos or something. And,
She's done a lot of games, cartoons, e-learning, narration, books, the whole thing.
fantastic.
So anyway, well, hey, everyone,
All right.
have a good one. Please subscribe. Please let us know what you think. And if you have any questions of Brent, we will put his information down in the show notes. And
Yeah, please
come
do.
on down to the TLDC. He'll be there in living person. Have a good one, everyone. Take care. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.